Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you got for Scorpio gang in early to mid August? We are in Leo season, my good friends. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang in early to mid August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have a good time today, my friends. We're gonna have some fun reading through these cards. Oh, okay, nice and quick. And we have the lady with the awesome haircut. I think I saw her once for one of the air signs potentially. Now I like this card. It doesn't show up often, especially in Scorpio readings for some reason. But it's good. It's diligent. It's creative. It's crafty. It's hardworking. It reminds me a lot of the Eight of Pentacles. So I always like it. I feel like there's good results, aside from this lady's really awesome, unique haircut. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this lovely lady here. So we see her there. She's chilling. She looks fabulous, has the little sewing machine with the rainbow coming out of it, and she's holding a golden thread. So yeah, it does give me Eight of Pentacles vibes, where it's like, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to create this. It's motivated, it's diligent. So I love that, especially in a Scorpio reading. There could be great things coming for money, work, and career when this card shows up. But another factor with this card is it represents fixing things or mending things. Now, that could be a whole variety of stuff, right? Whether it's personal relationships, whether you're trying to fix this, improve that. When I see a seamstress, I think of someone that's good at making adjustments, good at creating things and making things right. So in this time, it could be a really great time to square things away, make adjustments on the fly, and just customize things and make them how you want them to be. So I think it's good. The only downside with this, and again, there's good creativity and expression and all that stuff, sometimes this energy could try a little too hard, right? So sometimes with certain situations, you want to try and you want to put in effort, but then you need to know when to just let something flow. So just watch out for anything that you feel like you have to pressure or try too hard. Let's just leave her there to chill. She can keep doing what she's doing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was pretty nice. It was titled An Unexpected Win. Now, I always say wins, victories, whether expected or unexpected, come in a lot of different ways, right? Like maybe it was just a couple of great days. Maybe it was some good news coming in. Maybe it felt fantastic, got good news about your health, more money, who knows, partnerships. To me, though, regardless of what it is, it did seem to just pop in out of the blue. So if you didn't have one, know that that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, all right? But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we're going to be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Scorpio gang. What's happening in early to mid-August? 8 of Wands. That energy is rocking and rolling. Okay, that's good. Chatty. And I've been seeing this for a lot of zodiac signs this week, like a lot of them. It's like everybody's yapping away and talking, and I mean that's action too. Okay, we got Lady Justice in position number 2. Nice Libra energy. Feeling okay about this. Let's just get her tucked in right there in the center. One more, then we'll start piecing it together. So what do we got for Scorpio gang? What is happening? Thank you. Temperance, a lot of fire and air. Now, Temperance does seem pretty chill. So this week's reading initially, before we even clarified, does feel like it has like an anomaly to it, right? Because it's chill but amped up at the same time, which is peculiar. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, got to look at the elements. That's a big indicator and clue at how the energy is going to move forward. And we have that classic mixture that Scorpio gets quite often of the fire air combination. Now, again, if there's any water sign that could deal with it, it would be Scorpio gang, because that Mars co-rulership, if you know anything about astrology, got the Eight of Wands and Temperance, fire with air with Lady Justice in the center. Now, when it comes to fire, that is the realm of action. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions you don't take, actions other people take, it's moving, it's making moves, it's high vibrational frequency, right? It could deal with health and wellness. It could deal with energy levels. So normally I like a lot of fire because it moves things along. The downside to the fire is that it could be combustible, right? It's a little unpredictable, hard to contain. So, although fire can be life giving, it can also be extremely dangerous. So, we got to watch out for it because it's presenting in two totally different ways here. Then in the center, we have air, which feeds the fire. Now, when it comes to air, that is logical, it's pragmatic, straightforward and to the point, right? It could deal with strategy. But the biggest thing with air is information, whether it's giving it, receiving it, searching for it, wondering about it. Air is the communication suit, so that it deals heavily with information. It is cerebral. It can be in its head a little bit, and that does get to the downside of air, is that sometimes it could make you overthink a little bit if there's too much air in the mix. Air could be a little cold and clinical, where it's like, no, these are the facts and this is what it is, and we're just going with the facts and the facts alone. Not much intuition involved there. But when we mix the fire air combination, that intensifies everything even more, and it can make it explosive. But even with how the energy is presenting, it's like we have super, super intense. Then we have balance. Then we have slow. So although we have fire and air, it seems like it's dwindling partially, or it's like there's the balance of full go, full stop. So we got some anomalies this week. Let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, Eight of Wands. Now, this is one of the more intense cards within the tarot deck, and we see the Eight Wands cutting through the sky like an arrow. Right now, this is a huge communication card, back and forth, fiery conversation, explosive talks, all that good stuff. It's going, it's back and forth and back and forth. So a lot of readers will agree this is very chatty when we see this card. Now, it doesn't just have to be conversation and messages. The Eight of Wands could just be the actions that someone takes, and this is like someone that's shooting off towards something like a rocket, where it's like, this is quick action, this is fast action, I'm not slowing down, all gas, no brakes. So there's an intensity to this card, which I don't dislike. I normally like an action card in first position, so this could be good. Just watch out that you're not doing too much, or you're here, there, and everywhere. Watch out you're not scattering your energy when this card shows up, and we'll see if there's communication involved. The downside to the Eight of Wands is the unpredictable nature, just like with the fire suit itself, where it could be very explosive and unpredictable. So that's something we need to keep in mind. So whether it's like someone's actions, what someone says, the situation in and of itself, the Eight of Wands can be very unpredictable. Now, moving to the middle, we have the lovely Lady Justice. So although she is air, she is super balanced. This is big Libra energy. It's one of our zodiacal neighbors in Scorpio gang, right? We like Lady Luck, or Lady Libra. I said Lady Luck for some reason. Maybe that's something that's going to pop up later in the reading. Hopefully that's a good thing. But Lady Justice is fair and balanced. Now, she can mean a lot of different things. I always say she could deal with like procedure, she could deal with paperwork. Sure, could she be decisions, choices, making a judgment call? Absolutely. Decision making process, for sure. She could also deal with fairness, balance. So is someone doing too much, or they're not doing enough? Lady Justice is right in the middle of all of it. So we need to keep an eye. Watch out for any legalities or anything you put your signature on when she shows up. The biggest thing, though, with Lady Justice is, out of all the cards in the deck, I believe that she is the biggest card of karma. When the universe takes the wheel. So whether that's a karmic shift or a change or a situation or a connection, whatever it might be, when Lady Justice shows up, it's spirit saying like, hey, Scorpio, let me take the wheel. Let me drive this for a minute. So we need to look and see what this is. So whether it's someone getting some karmic action or if it's just a shift or change, we got to see. Now, moving to the back end, as you can notice, we go from really, really intense to a more balanced energy. And we got temperance, which isn't really doing too much, right? So you see what I mean? It seems to slow down, at least on the surface. Now, temperance, this is Sagittarius energy. Archangel Michael on here, so I love it for spiritual protection. So see, we have a lot of spiritual energy here on the back end of the spread. If you're not connected to Sagittarius, which is funny, that's another Scorpio Zodiacal neighbor, right? We got Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. It's like a Scorpio sandwich. Now, when we have the Saggy energy, especially with this card, he's not doing too much, at least at first glance, right? Like temperance is a card of patience. Temperance is a card of letting something be, letting something flow. So, total opposite of what we have up here in the front with the Eight of Wands. So, this is going to be super important when we clarify it. So, we got the spiritual protection, spirituality in general. But one thing I always have to mention about temperance is it looks like nothing's happening, but what's he doing? He's doing some alchemy, right? Cup water from cup to cup. He's actually working on something. So to me, this is more of a buildup underneath the surface. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Scorpio again? Please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Eight of Wands. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give the Scorpio gang, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Eight of Wands. Why is it here? Thank you. Cool. Okay, like this is bypassing something. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands in reverse. This is an energy where it's like it just blows past something or bypasses it. Where it's like, no, I don't got time for that. Nope, I'm just going. Like this, I don't want to say it's avoidant. I mean, maybe for some Scorpios it could be, but the Five of Wands is usually a card of conflict, right? Usually in the upright, which we didn't get in the upright, but in the upright, you see what the people are doing. They're beefing it up. They're battling. They're going to town. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Eight of Wands, it's like, yeah, no, I don't have time for that. Yeah, nope, no thanks. I'm not going to put any attention into that. There is this action. Now, I will also say this. The Eight of Wands, especially with the buildup we had on the back end, with this in reverse, this could absolutely be like a breakthrough of sorts. This is more fire. So could this be an explosive breakthrough of some kind or a massive breakthrough of energy of something that may have been building up for a long time? It could be that as well. I'm going to see if we still continue to get more signs of that. So, Scorpio gang, there could be a few different areas of life where you might see some big results or big breakthroughs, which I think is beautiful. But for another portion of Scorpios, the Eight of Wands with the Five of Wands in reverse is like, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to argue. Nope, I'm not. I'm not getting involved with that. Nope. All right, see you later. It's like an energy that kind of avoids. So do with that what you will, whether that's advice or how someone's moving. Let's keep going. And you all know I got the Scorpio placement, Scorpio moon. I read for a ton of Scorpios. It's one of my specialties. This feels like Scorpio energy to me, usually. Let's keep going. Let's see what Lady Justice has. Like, if there's something you're not really wanting to deal with, you're not going to deal with it, right? So you're going to bypass it. Let's see what's up with her. Okay. Okay. So we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse underneath Lady Justice. This energy just seems really, really neutral, like kind of like stonewalling or gray stoning, if you've ever heard of that. So you know when like someone's trying to get a reaction out of you, like you could give them a reaction or you could just not react whatsoever. That's how that feels to me for some reason. Again, this is all intuitive. So again, take it for what it's worth, whether it's advice or whether this is how someone's moving. It just does not seem very reactive. So when we pair the two, when we pair the Libra energy with this energy and this, like the energy just seems not like it doesn't care, but it's just like not reacting the way you thought it would. So in this time, watch out for, reactions that just don't line up, or maybe someone's thinking that towards you where it's like, okay, why isn't Scorpio reacting? Usually Scorpio does this, usually Scorpio says that, Scorpio's not acting how Scorpio usually does. It's something in that vein, because the Four of Pentacles is an energy that holds on to things for a long time, right? Very long memory with this card. It's usually great when it comes to money, work, business, finance. So even in reverse under Lady Justice, I love this for the work, especially with the lady we saw in the beginning. So Scorpio with work and business, I love what I'm seeing, and it seems to be moving on a good pace. Just don't get tied up or hemmed up in things that will distract you. Watch out for distractions in work. But mainly with her and the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, no, I don't care. No, I'm cool. The energy just seems very neutral. So again, for some Scorpios, this could be advice where it's like, avoid, stay neutral, and we'll see where it goes from there. So, but I could also see how this would be frustrating for some Scorpios too. Like if you're dealing with someone and it's like, why aren't you reacting? Like, do you care? Like, why are you giving me no feedback here? Where's the lack? Why is there a lack of reaction? It's really unique. Let's keep going. We're gonna see what's up with Temperance, and we'll do a quick little recap. So I love the breakthrough energy. I There's a lot of sidestepping going on. The karmic energy is still in play. We'll see if that turns into anything when we get to the Temperance on the back end. But let's clarify it. Let's see what Temperance has. Thank you. Energy just seems really, really unbothered, and maybe that does tie in with this breakthrough energy we've been picking up. A little more air to add to the fire. So, okay, this is very hyper specific. Only take this if it hits Scorpio. So, there's sometimes in life where there's a goal or a result or something that you really want, and you want it bad. And it takes a while. Maybe it goes quick. But when you finally have that thing, or when you finally get that thing, it doesn't feel how you thought it would feel. That's how this feels to me, where it's like, oh, okay, I don't know why I wanted this thing so bad. That is so specific. So again, I'm not saying it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. It's not like that. To me, it's like this doesn't feel how I thought it would feel. Where it's like, I thought I'd feel much happier about this, or I thought I'd be much more upset. There's like a confusion about feelings, like especially with like the lack of reaction and the avoidance and all this kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily think it's bad. I feel neutral about this reading for the most part this week. The only thing that I love is the breakthrough in the beginning, but it's how I feel after the breakthrough where it's like, oh, well, that doesn't feel like how I thought it would. Like I thought I would be much happier or content, but I'm not. Like there's more I still want to do. Like this isn't doing it for me. Now the Nine of Wands or Nine of Swords in the upright, which it's not here. It looks stressed, anxious, nervous, losing a lot of sleep, right? It shows up in reverse underneath this temperance card. There could also be something here about hypnosis. That's super specific. Not sure if you're doing it or dealing with it or thinking about it or studying it or watching videos on it. There's something about hypnosis here. That's so random. Only in a Scorpio reading would I get something that random. But the Nine of Swords in reverse is not stressing. Underneath Temperance, beautiful, it's protected, it's not stressing, it's not reacting. So it's like we have this big breakthrough of energy and then like crickets, super crickets. So again, whether this is how someone's moving or your reaction to something, it could be good for some of you. It could be really frustrating for others. I guess it depends. Mileage may vary, right? But that is super unique. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. That was way too specific for general, but whatever. You know how I roll, Scorpio gang. Position number one, we have the Eight of Wands, Five of Wands in reverse. I did say there could be like a buildup or an explosive breakthrough here. I like it. It feels like the energy moves forward, where it's like, okay, here we go. There's also this energy of like sidestepping things where it's like, all right, I'm not going to get tied up in that. Nope, I'm not doing that. There was like an avoidance or bypassing of something. In the center, we have Lady Justice with the Four of Pentacles. Great for work, great for business. Awesome. We'll claim that. But this also seems extremely non-reactive. So I'm not sure if you're trying to stay neutral, if you're trying to, gray rock or act as if you are not reacting to something. That could be possible. I mean, or it could be someone else where it's like, why aren't you reacting? Like, hey, do you care? It's like one of those. Then we get to the back end, we have the Temperance card with the Nine of Swords in reverse, where it's like, this doesn't feel how I thought it would feel. I thought once I had this thing, I would feel way better, or it's just something isn't lining up with, how you or how someone perceived something would feel and how it actually does. Where it's like, oh, I got what I wanted finally, but I don't feel complete. So that's very specific. So watch out for that. There's something about hypnosis too. So whatever. Just please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Scorpio gang? And yeah, I like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. Let's get this shadow card out for Scorpio gang. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, Seven of Wands. So it makes sense with like the fiery energy, the breakthrough energy that this card would show up, especially in the shadow of the reading. So the good thing about the Seven of Wands is its determination, the fact that it has no quit. Notice Seven of Wands, and we started with the Eight of Wands. We have a lot of wands, a lot of fire here. And I like it for its determination and its forward push. It doesn't quit, it doesn't give up. That's a good thing. That's a Scorpio trait. But sometimes, speaking as a Scorpio moon, that could be something that is to our detriment, right? Sometimes we can try a little too hard or try a little too much. So just watch out for that, because that could be the shadow side of the Seven of Wands, where it's like I'm just trying and trying and trying. Sometimes when you just let things flow, you get the better results. So just something to keep in mind. I would say in this time also watch out for feeling cornered or like you're between a rock and a hard place, because sometimes the Seven of Wands can feel trapped. So I think that's just something to be aware of. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Scorpio gang, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck, or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention, and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.